Okay, so those of you on YouTube who don't follow me on Instagram yet, I want to give you a short tutorial on some of the grip tools that I do from some serious grip training. Okay, this is, I have a set of these, another one there, and they come in a pair. These are from Iron Mind, okay? These are called Eagle Loops, okay? You go to ironmind.com, you can order these. These are great for training the fingertips. This is how you hold them. I'll be doing some videos on my next specific grip night to show you how this can be used in different means. But I use it for things like one-handed deadlifts to strengthen the fingers. Okay, that's just one of many tools that I have. Of course, I have a 3-inch rolling handle. This is from Mammoth Grip Tools. However, he has switched industries, so I'm not even sure you can get this anymore, but I do know that Barrel Strength Systems makes almost an identical version of this, and I know he makes a 3-inch. The Bull Ring, this is also from Mammoth Grip Tool, or no, sorry, this is from Barrel Strength Systems. Again, one-handed deadlifts. I also do this for bicep curls and tricep extensions. Builds toughness in the hands. Strength doesn't do you a whole lot of good if it's not tough. And the hands, this is going to put your hands to some serious abuse, but it's going to toughen up your hands. And again, one-hand deadlifts can do all kinds of applications with this, rows, all kinds of stuff. Comes in very, very handy, and it's a tool I use very frequently. Now, for rock climbers and things like that, this is the iron ball. Okay, again, these come in pairs. Balls usually come in pairs. And, of course, you know, you just clip onto there. And I'll use it for reverse grip, tricep extensions, and also hammer curls. And, I'm sorry, overhand curls. And also for one-handed deadlifts with a claw grip. This will test your strength, I guarantee it. Now we also have, this is a Russian, professional Russian 2.5-inch rolling handle, okay? Again, one-handed deadlifts, comes in great. Bicep curls, adds a new challenge with the added thickness. Also, tricep pushdowns adds a added. This one I actually ordered from Russia. And surprisingly, it got here only a week. Made it through customs fast. And just to show you the American equivalent, this is the Iron Mind Rolling Thunder. This one is actually harder to use. The reason being is that this spins pretty freely. My Rolling Thunder, nothing. So this one actually slips a lot easier, and this actually has a little bit of grip. This has nothing. This is not metal. This is like some kind of plastic. That's solid metal. And it's honestly better made than the Iron Mind. So, as much as I love Iron Mind, they could have made a better tool with that. This is by Mammoth Grip Tools, although this could be made homemade very well, or easily. This is the Mammoth Coin, which I hold the world record on, one of my world records. And basically, you hook up to a loading pin, put the weight on the loading pin, simply like this. Grab it like this, and you pick the weight up just like this. That's it. You're not allowed to, I mean, your fingers can't curl around the coin or anything. I'm not even sure you can get these anymore. Again, it's mammothgriptools.com, but he switched businesses, so I'm not sure he makes these anymore. But you never know. This is a mini bull ring, okay? We saw the big one. This is a smaller one for individual or double finger training. Obviously, you can't get your whole hand in there unless you get really small ass hands. You could get 3 in there if you wanted to, but I like to use it for individual and 2-finger lifts to strengthen. Plus, with the diameter of this, it makes it very challenging because it's going to dig. So the heavier you go, the more it's going to dig into your skin. So this and same thing with the full-size bull ring. It's less than 1 inch, so it's going to dig into your hands. So it's going to build. More than likely, when you begin with this one and the full-size bull ring, you're probably going to put the weight down because of pain before you put it down because of strength when you start. unless you have an extremely high pain tolerance, which I do. Another cool little tool with the clip back on it. This is from Mammoth. I'm sorry, this is from Barrel Strength Systems. It's basically like the coin, but as you can see, it's a tapered cylinder with just basically a washer right here. This is actually something I could probably, I wish I had thought of it because I could have made this from scratch, but it was fairly inexpensive. So, and same application as the Mammoth grip tool. Grip it the same way, pull up, but it's round and it's tapered, so it wants to slip. Of course, you can use hand chalk or tacky as well, like spider tack, for the same thing. Again, this is building because these two fingers and the thumb are the weakest in a normal person's hands. So these are the ones like when you're doing like one-handed deadlifts or double overhand deadlifts, or using any of these type of rollers, the 3-inch or the 2.5-inch rolling handles, your thumb and your pinky is the ones that are going to give out. So you really want to do some specific training on this. This helps, and the coin helps to strengthen the thumb. Your thumb is not as strong as you think it is. And I think you'd be very surprised how weak it actually is comparatively. Also, many of you have probably seen these. These are fat grips. These are actually made by Iron Bowl, but same application. These are a 2-inch, so this makes any bar a 2-inch. Dumbbells, barbells, whatever. You know, and I do these when I do bicep and tricep night. I put these on everything. These are 2-inch. I actually have 2 1/4s on there right now on my machine. So I'm slowly working up to a 3-inch building, but these are great. They're a little slick. You can use chalk on them if you want to, but these just open up and slip over a 1-inch bar. These will not really fit on a 2-inch like an axle bar, which I have, but you can't see. It's kind of out of view. These are Grenadier grips. Okay, they come in a pair, and these are shaped like a ball. Okay, and again, split in the middle to go over a 1-inch bar. So this gives you almost like a baseball grip, adding a different challenge to your hand and forearms. I use these again also on my bicep and tricep night to add a challenge, extra challenge. Excuse me as I step out of camera view for a minute. This is an Iron Mind hub. Again, loading pin, and you put your fingers like this, and you pick up. Okay. This is a toughie. There's even shorter ones than this. This one's from Iron Mind. Barrel Strength Systems also makes another similar one, but I think it's even shorter. And I think it's actually, I think the rim's a little bit smaller too. But essentially, it's the same exact principle. This is a hub, so this builds your finger and pick strength. Okay. This is from another Iron Mind product called Twist Your Wrist, or Twist Your Wrist as it's pronounced. Again, you put weight on the end of this. It's kind of like a traditional forearm roller, except it's round and you're doing it this way. So this is building grip and wrist strength at the same time. So this just got a long string on it, put a clip on it, and you can use it on a machine if you want to, and pull it up, or just put free weights on a loading pin and do that. It's a great little device. It's fairly inexpensive. Sorry, I probably just scared the crap out of everybody. Now we have a couple different styles of grippers. Okay, this is an Iron Mind Captains of Crush. These are rated competition use and training grippers. Okay, this is a Captains of Crush number 3, which is very hard. Okay, I don't remember the exact amount of pressure it takes to actually close it, to touch the tips or the ends together inside of the ends, but it's so hard to do that if you can close one, and if a actual official from Iron Mind will come to you and officially certify you on this. Okay, anything from the 3 to the 4. The 4 is the largest they make, or the strongest, and there's only a handful of people in the world, Jed Johnson being one of them, who can do this. And Jed Johnson, of course, is a grip legend. This is a knockoff, essentially. This one actually tells you how much. This takes 350 pounds of pressure to close. Now I have bench tested this, and it's not quite 350. It's actually about 310. It's not quite. You can have these calibrated, by the way. Iron Mind, Jed Johnson and Gil Goodman, both at Barrel Strength Systems, you can send these to them and they will actually bench test them, but a tag on them that tells you actually what the actual pressure is required to close one of these. So that's a nice feature actually. I actually need to get that done on some of mine. But there are all kinds of different rippers. I have numerous types. Now, an essential tool, this is just a tiny dense rubber ball, and I have to set it 3. There's a blue one, a red one, and a green one. And they're all different densities. This is the lightest of them all. Now you're thinking, what do I do with that? Well, keeps your hands, your tendons, and your ligaments in your hands warm in between sets of doing grip training. Okay, especially if you were to take like a teacup or a bowl, or a Tupperware bowl, and put hot water, pretty much not microwave, don't ever microwave one of these, they make a hell of a mess, is get your faucet, tap water, as hot as you can get it, and just drop this in to the water, let it sit for about 3 minutes, take it out, and it'll be nice and warm, and a good way to warm up your hands to keep the ligaments and tendons in your hands and the muscles in your hands nice and warm and loosened up, so we're not worried about injuring our hands. Like I said, safety is very important, and staying uninjured is very important. In fact, here's the blue one, and you can see the density difference here between them. I can squeeze this one, and this is also good for muscle rehab, like a deep tissue. I do that frequently to cool down muscles. Now, another very commonly overlooked is the strength of the fingers opening. Now this is just a cheap little device that I got off of Amazon for I think like $3 or $4, and you put each one of your fingers into one of the openings that's here, and there's even one for your thumb, so this does help with the thumb as well, and you open and close. And of course they make different strengths of these. This is a medium, this is not the heaviest, but it's also not the lightest. And you really want to make a conscious effort to really push these 2 fingers out, your ring finger and your pinky, because if you don't, they'll just kind of do the least amount of work. So you want to force them to work. And you will get an extreme burn from this. Okay. Now when it comes to things like pinch grip, this is actually homemade. This is just a piece of, I believe, 3/4 inch PVC and a piece of sheet metal. I made with the pin through here, put on a loading pin, and pick up, testing your pinch grip. Okay, which in competition, pinch grips are very common. There's a lot of different pinch grip apparatuses out there. Okay, this is just one I made from scratch. I make a lot of things homemade because it's cheaper. And that's just some of the things that I do. Now also, I bend steel, okay? So I'll take things like, if I can get it moved, I'll take like this, which is this is actually plate steel. It's 5/16 plate steel, and I'll take bolt cutters and I'll cut it into sections. Now if you go into ironmind.com and go to their nails, the different size nails, you can also get certified on certain sizes. The red and gold nail you can get certified on. This I believe would qualify as a blue, I believe, and this will blue or yellow, can't quite remember. But you cut this into specific lengths. Now you go onto the website ironmind.com, find out the lengths. Okay, if you can't bend the length that Iron Mind specifies, now they do sell the nails, but I go to Home Depot or Lowe's and I buy it in 3-foot sections. This is obviously not 3 feet, but I've already cut some off. I just use bolt cutters. You can use a grinder or whatever. or metal saw. If you can't quite get it, you bend it, you cut it a little longer than specified, and practice with a longer length. Obviously, the longer it is, the more like this. I mean, I could just sit there and bend this all day long because it's so much longer. And this is a lot cheaper to buy it in 3-foot stock than to pay Iron Line to cut it for you. Okay, so it's a big difference. So there are a lot of different grip implements that you can use to strengthen your grip, and I even have more than that. Like I said, I have other type of warm-up grippers that I use. I also use, for hammer curls, I use a loading pin. This is a 2-inch loading pin, okay? You just put the hook through here, and when I do bicep curls, I don't put my hand up here, I hold it down here so my grip has to do the work. Hook up the weight here, and do bicep curls. Okay, same thing for hammer triceps. Don't put my hand down here, and force my hand through the grip. Also, there's a thing known as the vertical bar, or the V-bar in grip competitions, where you load this with plates, and you simply grab it like this with chalk, and pick it up off the ground. A lot harder than it looks. You may be thinking, oh, that's easy. It's not that easy, okay? Nothing in the grip world is easy. If it was, everybody could do it. So, those are just some of the implements. I have like I said, I've got basically a wine rack full of grip tools, different grippers, different handles that I use in my grip training. Amongst them, I mean, I have a lot of different stuff that I'll go into more detail with on grip night, okay, when I do my grip training. Another thing that I do, and let me step out of camera view real quick, is, of course, pretty much anybody can identify what this is. This is just an ordinary wrench. Okay, what I'll do is I'll take my mammoth coin. I will load up my loading pin that I just showed you with weight. Hook this on to the loading pin. Grab the coin with the wrench and pick it up off the ground, and holding on as tight, squeezing as tight as you can, holding on, okay? Now, I actually don't use this particular pair because it's got a lot of surface area. I actually use needle nose because it's even harder. But this is a good starter because it's got more surface area and it's got much better teeth in it for grip, whereas my needle nose are pretty old and the teeth are pretty worn down, so I have to work a lot harder to pick it up. Now, I even do, like tonight when I do arms, I'll even do hammer tricep extensions like this, and hammer bicep curls like this. So I'm using my bicep and my grip at the same time. Now, I may not be able to tell from here, from the camera view, but my forearms are 19 inches, bigger than most people's biceps. If you don't believe me, I'll measure them for you. But yeah, I have 19-inch forearms from doing all this for so long. So there's a lot of different things you can do. I've had horseshoes. In fact, let me go grab one for you. This is one of the horseshoes that I have bent. I was trying to get into a heart shape and just kind of ran out of steam that particular evening. But that is what I do with my bare hands. I don't put it on my knee. I don't do any of that stuff. Now I do use leather wraps to protect my hands, but other than that, that's it, because it would be stupid to try to do this with no protection, because it would just destroy your hands. This is a little cheap gripper for doing repetitions. I picked this up at Walmart. It's made by Goldstone, or I'm sorry, this one's made by Everlast. I have one made by Goldstone too. And then it adjusts from 10 pounds to 40 pounds, which is nothing. I've got it on 40. I can just sit there and rep out like crazy, but it's good. If you do slow, controlled movements, I'll take this to work with me to sit there and rep out with it. This is stainless steel. This was a 3-foot long section of stainless steel. I did this with my bare hands. Actually, I didn't even use any leather wraps or anything on this. And I just kept playing with it and bending it into unusual shapes and putting bends in it and Kind of had a plan with it, but I just taking some kind of like modern art crap. But anyways, this is what I ended up with. Like I said, this is stainless steel. There's all kinds of stock you can buy. You can buy all different kinds. You can buy brass. You can buy bronze, stainless steel, welding steel, plate steel, all kinds of different steel. Bronze is or brass. Brass is very soft and will bend a lot easier than most metals. So as a starter, brass isn't a bad, but you can pay a little bit more for brass rod. Not much, not a whole lot more, but it comes in different diameters, and it's a good starter because it teaches you form and it teaches you function. So you kind of learn the best way for you to do it. Okay. Also, aluminum is obviously a lot easier to bend as well, and you can start with aluminum rod too. So but this can be a lot easier. So what you would do is cut a long piece of aluminum, bend it. That's easy. Cut it even shorter until you get to a point where it's really, really hard to bend, and you practice it until you make your times faster. The faster you can bend it. So that is a good way to start if you ever want to get into steel bending. Same thing with the horseshoes. There are many different kinds of horseshoes out there. These aren't trick horseshoes. These aren't designed to be bent like this. When a farrier or horseshoer wants to change the shape or bend one of these, he uses, of course, a forge. And so this is a St. Croix forge number 2. I actually got this from an online horseshoe company, and they're actually here in Florida, and I brought this back to them, and they were in shock. In fact, they have 2 of mine that I have bent even more than this, and they display them in their shop. They're in Ocala, Florida. FarrierDepot.com. And I order online, and they have all different sizes, shapes, strengths, materials, composite materials. This is just steel. This is just plain old steel. And this took some time to learn. So these are not easy to do. I don't recommend you starting off with horseshoes, or you're going to be in a lot of pain. Okay, not that pain is bad when it comes to learning. So over time, I've acquired a lot of different gripping implements, and it has definitely paid great dividends for me, because when it comes time for a strongman competition, things like the farmer's walk, or the axle deadlift, or the car deadlift, things like that, 99% of the time you're going to see the competitor use lifting straps. Okay, I don't. Okay, I don't believe in them. The reason I don't believe in them is because you can see a guy that lifts 700 pounds of straps. You take the straps off his hands, he might be able to do 500. Okay, so whereas I'm as strong as him without straps. Okay, I don't believe in them. So I do my car deadlifts, no straps. I do my axle deadlifts, double overhand, no straps. Okay, I do farmer's walks, hex bar walks, no straps. Okay, maybe hand chalk, but that's it. And wrist straps, wrist wraps. Okay, but I never use straps. You'll never ever hear me using them or see me using them in any of my training. So if you have them and you want to follow my program, throw those fuckers away. Excuse my language, okay? Because I don't believe in them. Now, this is another tool that I use for grip. This is made by Strength Shop, StrengthShopUSA.com. This is a duck walk bar, which is used in strongman competitions. But what I will do is I will load this pretty much to the top. I'll get about 675 pounds on here and set it down. And then, of course, get like a wide stance, and then do a double overhand, no straps, and stand up with it. Basically a short deadlift, almost like a rack deadlift. And I'll lock out, full extension, put the shoulders back. If you go into my Instagram, you will see me lifting 675 pounds with this. Also, to make it even more increasingly difficult, and to, again, functional training for the deadlift as well, because there is no knurling here. This is just powder coat. That's it. Okay. Unlike a bar, a deadlift bar, an axle bar. I have stands that I stand on to bring me up higher, so I'm doing a higher range of motion. So it brings it down to about here, and then I still do 600 plus like this. Okay. So I'm working up to the point where I want to be very high off the ground, almost to the point of an actual deadlift, and picking up 675 pounds with this in the double overhand position, no wrist straps. Okay, you can't reiterate that enough. So that is just some of the cool stuff that I think is cool stuff that I have. Okay, excuse me. And this is another cool little tool to have. Okay, this is made by iHuni Incorporated, IHUNIU Incorporated. This is rated at 60 kilograms, so just over 120 pounds of force takes to require to bend this. Okay, and it's a spring. This is like almost looks like a garage door opener spring, and this is great to help you learn how to bend, because you've got to do the same motion. You've got to sit there and bend it, and it uses the same muscles to bend this that you do to bend steel. So, a great little tool. And this is not their heaviest one they make. They make one with a bigger spring. This is the second hardest one they make. There's only one more that they make that's actually more poundage. I think it's an 80 kilogram. I believe it is. I got it actually off of Amazon. Amazon is a wonderful thing. You get all kinds of cool stuff for a fraction of the price. Put that back up there. Try to keep things relatively organized in here. It's organized chaos. And so I use a lot of different things for grip training. So if you have any questions about any of these tools, how they're used, things like that, let me know. Also, I'll be doing grip training again next week, so I will share that with you as well, seeing how I actually do use these things. If you can't wait, go on to my Instagram at Rumble, RUMBLE _ Hulk, HULK, and that's my screen name, and you will see hundreds. I have almost 7,000 videos, but you'll see my grip nights or grip training incorporated into a lot of the videos. So check that out if you want to. Give it a like if you want, leave a comment, send a direct message to me if you have any questions about my videos, and I will be sure to answer them as fast as I can.